fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Hello, Salt Strong Nation. Joe Simons, like diamonds. Luke Simons, like diamonds. Doubled up there, Simons like diamonds. What are we talking about, dude? Strike spots. We got strike scores. We have all kinds of cool stuff on our Insider Club. And now we faced a problem, right? We had too many fishing spots. We had too many fishing reports. And it was getting tough to kind of find what you're looking for when you see just like this countless sea of little pins, these little dots on our map, which we're going to pull it up in a second. And so we came up with strike spots.
Yep. It's the ultimate, I would say the next level, the next gen in our quest, just to make sure that Insider Club members are spending their time in the feeding zones and minimizing their time in the dead zones. That's really what it's all about. That's our number one goal for all members. And this new tool is a very helpful tool to do just that. And let me just go ahead and pull this puppy up.
Yeah, let's pull this thing up. And so, as Luke mentioned, our whole, what we wake up every single morning is how can we add more value to our Insider Club? It's our foundation. It's our family. We have, getting close by the time this airs, we'll probably be 17,000 members strong. And I think the number one thing that we hear, and maybe you can relate to this, that's an issue or even an objection of not joining is time. Like, guys, I just don't have enough time to go through all that. And we get it. We're busy. We all live busy lives. We're busy people. Completely understand. And so we're always trying to think of, all right, what's some shortcuts that we can give? And what are some ways that we can just simplify and kind of curate all this information? We have so much information, so much data inside of our club. We've been doing this for now 4.5, 5 years. And we have literally, 15,000 spots or so on here, fishing reports. And of course, we have all of our fishing reports are on the water reports and all these trends. And so we're just trying to make use of this data for our members. So obviously we're doing this as a podcast. If you're listening, even if you're not a member, you're going to at least get an idea of what we're doing. And hopefully by the end of this, if you're not a member, you will be joining. You will be signing up today, not only to save money on all your tackle and all the other great stuff we're doing on the tackle side, but just to save time, right? To be able to find that feeding zone, the whole 90-10 zone, right? In any area we've ever looked at and ever fished in our entire lives, around 90% of the feeding fish were just in 10% of the area. And we want to put you there. And that's really what the strike spots is all about. So what we got here, Luke, we have a picture of the map. This is only insiders can see this. And if you're listening, this is a map. Luke's got it kind of zoomed in from Texas to basically the bottom of Virginia. And it's just peppered with these little pins, and every one of these pins is a fishing report. Some actually like on the water, like full on, like tons of video. Some just, hey, a catch report of here's where I caught a fish, redfish, speckled trout, whatever it is. Here's what lure, bait I was using, kind of some tips and tactics, weather, tides, all that great stuff.
Yeah. So basically what we created is like a Facebook group on steroids. And because what we're looking at here, obviously the posts are like a Facebook group where, you post a picture, share a cool story, something fun that happens on the water, and a lot of engagements happening there. But also on top of that, members can pin their spots to just kind of share some helpful tips on like where they were. And so at first it was just the pins were very helpful, right? But now there's so many of them. Right? Right now we're zooming into Tampa Bay. And there's so many pins that it's this overwhelming.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, just envision someone scrolling in on an online satellite map to let's just say St. Pete, where Luke just hovered in, and you can't see land. Like you literally can't see anything. There are just so many spots peppered all over the place, and it's really all. There's obviously land. You can't even see water. You can't see anything. That's crazy that we have.
And obviously, so each one of these is an actual post, right? And so there's an absolute wealth of information.
First
I
ever
look at
slam
every day. Yeah. So you can see, each one of these pins is an individual report from a member. And you can see what they're using, some helpful tips. And it just takes a lot of time to go through those. So what we did is now we have this extra feature called Strike Spot. So for all members, when you're in the community platform and you click this little hamburger menu, you're going to see now strike spots. So in addition to all these other things that we already have, this is the latest and greatest, and it's pretty darn awesome. And so what it does is like a heat map. And so based on, we now have, I guess it's been 2 years old, Joe, when we started this, maybe longer.
Which part?
I can't remember. The actual community where people can post their pictures. And there's multiple years.
It's probably been
stuff.
2.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So over 2 years of data. And so we're just looking at now year over year trends. And so the idea is for this to, and this is another cool feature we'll talk about, but the idea is for this to help you identify the areas that are most likely going to have the feeding fish based on historical trends. And this isn't like, okay, October 15th of last year, we caught a fish right here. It's never, every year's different. And so it's like a little over 30-day window back and forth to help just show the overall trending. And right now, it's just showing it by date, but we're in the process of adding the extra stuff like incoming tide versus outgoing, water clarity, was it windy or not windy, to help even give more data. So just to show how it works, we just click, again, whatever date, I'll just throw October 15th in there. And so now what we're seeing is a heat map of which areas had activity in that approximate time range.
So this is the 90-10 zone, right? We're eliminating, if you don't see any kind of heat map, which would be yellow, orange, or red, you're kind of eliminating the areas that should be dead zones. So right here and there, we're already, just from this one simple view, saying, hey, eliminate all the stuff where you don't see color. And then it's like, wow, this makes it so easy. It's kind of like the top spot maps, right? Top spot maps are cool because it kind of gave you an idea of what areas should be good, but why top spot maps weren't effective, if you listen to that podcast, is, it's just stagnant. It's just like one area for the entire year. This is taking it to the next level based on real reports, not just some random dots on a map, and it's shifting over time, right? Obviously, areas are going to shift from summer versus winter, just based on how the fish are shifting. So this is really, really, really cool. And like I said, we've spent a lot of time messing with this and just kind of using this data to make sure it's accurate. And there's maybe still a few bugs, because it's still kind of in beta mode for our members, but for the most part, it is eerily accurate. Is that right, Luke?
I don't know. We're not definitely not grammar experts, but and you can zoom in. So I'm going to leave the zooming in for the insiders because this is all Insider Club only. But yes, you can zoom further in. And the cool thing too is you can just quickly look at this and see where the hot spots are. So the red are the hot spots. That's where a large amount of reports have been reported, and then we can actually click on those to get some helpful details on what was happening, right? So it's kind of like those hotspot maps, that you can like look at the thing and then look on the other page and try to like read into it a little bit, but it just gives just a little bit of information. And here it gives just a lot more. It's a lot more and it's a lot easier. You just literally click on it and you can see what's been happening. You can see the popular lures. You can see the common species that were caught. And again, just a wealth of information. And as I said before, this is brand new, so we're going to be adding to it. But just wanted to let everybody know that it is out and it is available for all members.
I love that it talks about depth. It talks about, what lures they were using, what jig heads they were using. This is just a wealth of knowledge. And now, Luke already every single Friday does this 10-minute smart game plan. And that's just 10 minutes. Like you watch that, you're going to have an edge on everyone else fishing that weekend. And so we wanted something else that was going to be short and sweet, because time, I get it, is probably the biggest reason why people don't catch as many fish, because they don't have time to study a lot of this stuff. They don't have time to do all the pre-trip planning that they need to. And so we just wanted to make it super easy for our members that, you could do this at the ramp. Literally that morning and say, all right, I'm fishing today. Let me look at it. And then I love this sonar aspect of it. That to me, that's such a cool thing. And if Luke can slide in, if you're listening, there's a little toggle switch that Luke is moving back and forth. And on one end, it's basically Google Maps, and the other end, it's sonar. So you can actually see depths and you can zoom in to go down to the pretty pretty granular level. I know Luke doesn't want to do it too much, just protect, our members, kind of information here. You need to be a member to see all this stuff. But I love that sonar piece, because that's another great ways we did on a prior podcast to kind of find some hidden honey holes and to find some ledges around areas you fish. And many times you'll see that, hey, this is a red zone, and guess what? There happens to be a little ledge right here. There happens to be a little pothole right here in this area. So I love that sonar piece of it.
Yeah, so that's it. We just really wanted to highlight this. It is awesome, and it'll be only getting better as we add the extra layers. Right, we're going to add in the the wind, the tide, and coming outgoing, just to help you better isolate the zones. But again, this is really just about finding the overall ideal spots, and this is again just a big summary of the actual data, which are all of these pins. And so actually, I still like the map. They're both helpful. The pins are great because you can actually click on one and then see some details. You can also interact with who posted it, right? So if there's somebody who's fishing near you, a lot of people are meeting some new fishing friends from this. Again, that's what it's really all about, is just helping fellow anglers out, meeting new anglers, and just having more fun out on the water.
Yep. And Luke, while we're on here, it comes up quite a bit, especially with new members who get in and maybe they're a little bit intimidated. Go back to the community and let's break it down by region, because I think it can be confusing, because we now have 17,000 members and 15,000 or so fishing report. It might be more than that now. I don't even know where we go see the count on that, but go into the actual community, Luke, and let's kind of show it by region, show where some of this stuff is for new members who are maybe even joining us today and can say, oh, okay, cool, I get it. Because this is the main page, right? So if you're watching this and or listening to this is the main page of our Insider Club, of the private community. Obviously, we have a separate page for the discounts and the exclusive tips and the cheat sheets and mastery courses, but this is really just the community. And what we try to do is we kind of merge Facebook with forums. Forums are great because they're organized, right? Forums are great because they have categories. You can break them down by regions, whereas Facebook's just this one big, long wall that just never ends and is constantly refreshing. And if you're gone for a week, you kind of miss everything. Whereas this is documenting and putting little tags on everything. And you can see over here, you got all fishing reports. Yeah, so yes, 14,208. You've got broken down by Q&A, tackle fishing tips, etc. And then down below, you got the regions. And this is so helpful. So, I think one of the first thing a lot of members do is they go, I want to see what's happening in my area. So like if you click on like Tampa Bay, these are regions we have highlighted here.
Yeah, and obviously you can customize this. So when you do log on, you can customize your regions, and we're going to be updating this page. So this will be changing here in the near future, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to have quarterly, basically quarterly game plans to just to help for every single region. We're interviewing members who are active in there and who obviously know their stuff, just to give the localized intel by season on what things to focus on. And so this is going to be updated to highlight that regional guide. Obviously, the courses that come with this, the Finding Spots Mastery course, the Positioning and Approach course, in the Inshore Fishing 101, you get that at the macro level for becoming a member. But this extra course is going to be something for the actual regional level, just like the regional nuances. The core is across all regions, but there are, some regions have some little nuances that will be highlighted on those. And so we can just scroll through and just see what's happening for that particular region most recently.
Yeah,
and then obviously everything. Go ahead, Joe.
These are all pretty recent. Yeah, these are all, just hours ago. And what's cool, I've noticed that with, all these new members, all these were just here in the last 24 hours. It's like every 10, 15 minutes, there's a new fishing report going up. And I personally like watching all of them. So I don't go to a region specifically. I like just seeing the main feed. I personally just love seeing what everyone's doing. And you can learn so much even from other areas. But to Luke's point, I do get that different regions are different. And like when I went up to Georgia, I mean, fishing in St. Simon's Island is definitely different than Tampa Bay. And so guess what? Went right there into the region, see what's going on. And we did really, really well. And we have Dan from Savannah just did what Luke talked about, kind of a breakdown of that whole low country region, if you will. And everything that he's learned and types of spots to look for based on the season and based on the conditions. And that's super, super helpful. So if you're an insider member and you haven't seen that, you have to see that. We're doing it now from Texas, obviously to Florida, where it started, up to Virginia and everywhere in between. So that is going to be just another way that we're helping our members, helping you, the angler, just maximize your time, get more tight lines, have more fun out on the water, and ultimately help you save time, not waste it going from dead zone to dead zone like so many of us tend to do when we're not prepared. We've been there. That's why we build this stuff. This is like everything that Luke and I wish was available, back in our 15-year journey of struggling to catch fish consistently.
Yep. Yeah. Just that's the latest and greatest for the club, and yeah, we're pumped. We've been working on this for a while, and so far the testing, we launched it, kind of the beta test, and I had some members try it out, and it's so far the results have been great. So we are very confident that you're going to like it as well. And obviously, it's not just for Tampa; it's for the entire Southeast, really from Texas. We have now enough reports for really all the Southeast states: Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, obviously both sides of Florida, and then up north of the Carolinas, even up in Virginia. So wealth of information in there. It is impossible not to learn some extremely helpful stuff from so many just anglers who are just here to support one another. So for anglers, we do have, we have a lot of full-time guides who are in there. And because again, this isn't for newbies. This is for people who are serious. It's really for intermediate to advanced, people who are serious about getting better, because human intelligence is key. No matter how good of logs we keep, I know for sure I was keeping very detailed log. I was way too detailed, and I was getting kind of lost in the details. And just near term recent human intelligence is the number one thing. It trumps any sort of historical data point. So this is just helpful in the fact that you can see the general areas, but the human intelligence inside the community platform is really the number one, at least the thing that I recommend the most, because there's nothing that can beat recent human intelligence.
Love it. And then a couple final updates. We've got a lot of new gear coming in. We finally got some rods, St. Croix rods. We got TFO should be coming soon. Z-Man Slam Shady finally coming back. We've got some cool stuff. So just one more reason to become an insider member. All of our members get 20% off or more. We recently released that bomber at 30% off. So a lot of our own kind of private label products we're giving you guys an even bigger discount. So just one more reason to save time, save money on all your tackle. And we're kind of like the consumer reports of saltwater fishing. We don't have any sponsors, so we go out there and put this stuff to the test, tell you what's a great value and what's not. And I know if you haven't joined us already, you will save a lot of time, you will save money, and you'll meet friends too. I think that's an important part. And one final piece, we're in the process now of moving our office to a much bigger place that is also going to have really almost like a secondary office. It's right next door, but it's almost like a secondary little building that's got its own entry and everything. Real high ceilings. There's enough room to make a short cast. You couldn't bomb one, but we're going to start doing events there. So we're going to start inviting our insider members only. And that'll be another way that we can all interact, learn from each other, bring in some experts, and have some fun. Bring in some food and some beers, and have a great time. So that's something that we've always talked about doing, and this timing felt right. I think we've all been pent up for so long with this COVID, and even if we can't enjoy it the way we want to just yet, I know we're going to be turning kind of turning the tide here soon on that, and we're going to be able to really just embrace this new space, even though it's a little intimidating because it's so much bigger. I mean, we're basically going like 5 times the size of what we have, but it's going to be awesome. The just the ability to have a big building where we can bring in people from all over the country, really, and just to have a good time and still do a little fishing, that's not too far away. I'm really, really stoked. So be on the lookout for that. It'll probably be early next year by the time we all get completely moved in and are able to have our first event. But we're hoping to kick it off first of the year. Might even have a little, end of the year Christmas party if we can make it happen. So stay tuned on that. We appreciate all you guys. And if you're not an Insider member, give us a shot. We would love to have you in there. You'll see really quickly why we have 17,000 members. It is it's just such a helpful and friendly environment where people are actually sharing their tips. They're sharing what's working. It's night and day difference versus all the other stuff that's out there. And then that's why we don't really have any competitors, because no one can really replicate this. And a lot of it comes down to the people that are in there. And we've been just so blessed and so fortunate to have really great people who don't belittle and don't curse and are not slandering and just talking trash like it happens so much on social media. And we're going to keep it that way. And in fact, your insiders who are members already know this, but you can't even curse. I mean, we've, because we built that community from scratch, we have it where if you even try to curse, it bleeps the whole thing out. We just don't even allow it. We don't have time for it. We want positive people, and it's very rare that you even see the bleep. Normally it's when someone types in some other slang word and it thinks you're cursing. You're really not. It's been pretty funny to see that. Someone's like, I promise you I wasn't cursing. It just, bleeped out whatever it was. So guys, thank you again. Come join us in the club. For those of you who are members, thank you so much. Give us feedback. This is right there in the community at community.saltstrong.com. And you'll see the strike spots right there in the drop down. So get in there, play around with it. Give us feedback. If you see any issues or any bugs, let us know. We want to make this thing awesome. And if you see any other ideas, from all this data that we have that we can use to help you out, to help you find the feeding zone, the 90-10 zone faster, let us know. We would love to hear from you. Other than that, Luke, we out.
Good times. Peace.
Peace.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul. It was pain.